Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. My name is JB Hilliard, and I know I've missed a couple submissions or posts, but I spent most of May planning, coordinating, and ultimately hosting a family reunion. And so after everything kind of settled down and I was back in work mode, I got to thinking about some things. So these are just random thoughts, random observations. The first is, of course, whenever there is a major life change, then you should, or we would always recommend that you update or at least take a look at your estate plan. Now, the key to that is having an estate plan in place in the first place in order to go back and review it and or update it. And so with that said, assuming you do have one, or even if you don't, these major life changes like getting married or having children should prompt you to get a plan in place. And then for those of you who already have that, then to update as necessary. And so I think about those with, the new additions to the family, the little toddlers running around all over the place. And so even if you don't have a will or don't have anything else in place for your children, by most jurisdictions intestacy laws, which means your next of kin and your heirs at law would inherit from you if you don't have a will in place to say otherwise. And so having children, your children are the next in line, your spouse and your children. And so that part is probably okay if you are intending to leave everything to your children. However, what if something were to happen to you or both parents of those minor children? Who would you want to be temporary guardians over them? And so that's something you wouldn't want to leave up to a court to decide or some other family member who has no relationship with you or your children to take upon themselves to petition the court to do. And so that's a thought. Another random thought is when you are in a relationship with someone, that's your partner, that's your lifetime commitment to that person, but you all are not married. And if you happen to live in a jurisdiction that doesn't recognize that type of union and doesn't treat it as a legal marriage or a legal partnership, and you're wanting to leave that person everything and you don't have anything in place, then that's going to be a problem. Or think about on the other side of the toddlers, the almost adult children moving into that phase from high school graduations, and we were able to honor some of our high school graduates into that next phase of their life, either going to college or going to, a trade, a vocation, going to work. Now, it's particularly in a college environment when the children are, or really whatever situation, but when the children are still kind of under your care or classified as your dependents, once they hit 18, though, by the eyes of the law, they are adults. So if something were to happen to them from a medical standpoint, I'm talking from that perspective specifically, then even as a parent, you're not automatically entitled to getting information about their care or whatever's happened to them because of the HIPAA rules. So unless they have some sort of waiver in place or have identified you through their campus or through wherever they are, workplace or whatever, to identify you as a healthcare agent or as an agent or individual that's authorized to access their medical records, then you may be in a tough situation if something were to happen to them. So I say all this to say I just have random thoughts. It always revolves around work because this is what I live and breathe every day. But just something to keep in mind. So while we celebrate the summertime and getting together and having those family reunions and family gatherings and things of that nature, to kind of think about if there are changes in your life that have occurred recently or will be occurring that you might want to take a look at what you have in place, if anything, and if nothing, to get something in place. That's always my message. So with that said, as always, I thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.